is segment 3 of sexual addictions, and we're still with Godfrey Kutesa. So where does this start from? The boy, you know, when he watches the animals, where does this even start from?
No,
Where
don't
did
put it on boys alone.
Yeah. No, the story of the boy that you gave.
Oh, the
story
one.
of the boy,
Yes.
Yes. How does somebody reach this level? Where does it start from?
It starts from somewhere. Just know that it starts from somewhere.
And it builds up
And it's not one beginning.
Yeah.
Like I said, level 4 has got taboos. Things that the world looks at as taboos that are not acceptable. For example, having sex with an animal or being sexually attracted to an animal. That is one. Having sex with your relative. There are people who are addicted to that. Yes? Incest is part of that.
When you say incest, you're talking about somebody's addicted to their family member?
No. Yes. Not addicted to their family member, but someone
close by
wants sex with, let's say, their daughter. Or even if you bring something else, they don't want.
So they want the familiar face? What is that?
Not to bring it that way, but it's them. It's that person they want. They want to have sex with their...
Or could it be they're avoiding becoming a victim out there?
All those, what you're saying, is what we look at when now we are diagnosing how to help.
I see.
Yes?
Yeah.
But now for me, I'm giving you the categories.
Yeah.
Things that are looked at. In fact, even these things that we're looking at, but in that category, there is a type of addiction of a person who is attracted to dead bodies.
What?
Yes, dead bodies.
How is that?
They just can't. Oh, a beautiful person dies.
The person has to be dead.
Yes, the person has to be dead, and they do. Some of these things are unheard of, but it doesn't mean that there are no people who are attracted to that. And in most cases, people who are like that are in hospitals, or people who work in mortuaries, or they would do anything not to be even transferred. You don't need to pay them. You know, an addict, you don't need to pay them to do something.
What they want.
Yes, you don't need to pay them. Now, going back to, let's say, people who are prostitutes or who called sex workers. Not all sex workers are there to look for money. No. There are others who go there just to get a guy. For them, it works up. An addiction can cut across. Then I also need to make clarification on there is a particular type of addiction which called BDSM, bondage and sadomasochism. Someone is interested in being pour candles on the body, you know, cut them with glasses. That's when they come, even if they've not penetrated. That's
an addiction.
Yes, that's an addiction. They are addicted to BDSM.
What is BDSM in full?
Bondage, I've just given it to you. Bondage and sadomasochism. A person like that will look for someone who can beat them. That's why people you see on Amazon or what, they have lashes. Obugo. Some have got... You didn't watch the movie 50 Shades of Grey?
I didn't get a chance to watch
Yes, it was promoting that. And for us as activists and fighters against sexual exploitation, we fought it. It was promoting that. You know, literally, you can get married to someone who gets satisfaction out of that. Put cuffs around you, tie you on the bed, cane you, and that's how they can climax. Now, all these sex addictions, the different levels and the types under every level can happen on anyone. But let's not lose the focus of the word addiction. What is an addiction? An addiction is when someone does not have control over their own decision on that particular behavior or on that particular decision.
So they've given up the control
No, they've not given up. They lost the control.
along the
It's
way.
not them willingly giving up, giving in. You asked me a question that where did it start from?
Yes.
It starts from somewhere. You keep on testing.
Yes.
You know, with an addiction, you start slowly.
Until you lose control.
Yes, and that's the right word. Until you lose control. That's why I say there is need for space. There is need for us, for society to create space for people who are struggling with addictions, what we call silent addictions.
Sure. Wow.
We're just concluding a global summit on sexual exploitation. It's a coalition against a coalition to end sexual exploitation. It's a global summit, and I'm the representative in East and Western Africa.
Okay.
So I'm part of the coalition. Our job is to create awareness in what is happening, in how media is portraying and how the media is helping to push sex exploitation. Now, one of the things that we were highlighting was the movies that are bringing out or teaching the public about to accept these addictions. Today, you've got boys in schools. Sometimes I go to speak in schools and you've got boys talking about their teachers have told them to masturbate. Masturbation is okay. Yes,
It's happening. The teacher tells.
Yes. I used to convince myself that way. But every addiction leaves you helpless. There is no harmless addiction.
So, wow. So much about addictions that
Yes.
I didn't even know.
Yes. Now, and every addiction can cut across. There is no one addiction that is just for male. And there is no one addiction that's just for women. You understand?
Yes.
Every addiction has a harm that it leaves with you. From level one, where we talked about masturbation. Masturbation is the number one cause of what we call lack of manpower. You understand? Someone cannot erect. When you constantly masturbate, you lose the natural ability God gave to you to erect.
As a man.
Yes, God gave each and every one of us a natural ability to erect. And He wired us in a way that our system work in connection with each other. Now, what does that mean? When I look at a woman, I erect. And that is no more. It is not a crime to erect for a man.
But just by looking.
Let me tell you again. If all men are connected visually,
Okay.
you understand? Women are connected auditory. For us, we have vision. We look. In case there is this girl that I look at and say, and I entertain the thought, of course, I will erect. That means I'm normal.
So where do you bring in
now-
the aspect of self-control?
Now, the aspect of self-control is she's good. But self-control does not mean that I refuse myself to erect. No. Self-control comes that, do I go? What comes after? Some rep, some run after. No, you start a relationship out of what you've looked at. And that means you are just after the body. That's what you call objectification. Women objectification. Now, let me go again. But now, when you constantly do the act of masturbation, you lose the natural ability to get
to function normally?
Yes. Now, that's when you've seen a lot of men buying what we call sex pills. That you've got what we call Viagra. You've heard of Viagra?
Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next segment.